Hi guys, bit of bad news I'm afraid. We've had some problems with our, well not problems, our video editing software has gone out of support and is no longer available. So I've been unable to do any videos for the last couple of weeks. Got that fixed now and I've got some new software on the phone. So that should fix that, but unfortunately as also part of upgrading the phone, we lost a couple of the videos we'd already made. So we've lost a video that Charlie had done on his first set of troops that he's painted with some help from his dad, which are actually Space Marines, which he really wanted to share with everyone on the channel. So we will try and put one of those up in the next few days, and he'll really appreciate any thoughts or comments he gets on that. And we will get back to doing some battle reports. But in the meantime, we're going to have a go playing around with the new editing software, see how that goes. And we're also starting to get ready for the anniversary of Waterloo. So I don't have the exact date at the forefront of my mind. It's something like the 18th or 19th of June. I know I should know that off by heart, but I'm afraid I don't. Which falls on a Friday, and that is post at least the next wave of restrictions for lockdown here in the UK coming to an end. So I believe up to 6 people will be able to meet, and indeed it's just before the release of the next wave of lockdown in late June. But from a week or so's time, middle of May, 6 people can meet inside. So me and some mates have penciled in doing Darnell's attack on a really big table, to be able to get all of a good proportion of my figures out on the Saturday of the Waterloo weekend. So that should be good fun. So in anticipation of that, I thought I'd just do a couple of quick videos, as I say, practice videos for the new editing software, of some of the forces I'll be taking to that game. So one of the most important pieces will be a heavy cavalry division for the French. So I'll do a quick run through of the troops that actually fight in the scenario and the ones I'll be taking. Back in a second. So for our scenario of Darnell's assault at Waterloo that we got coming up, we need to have four regiments of French Heavy Cavalry, ideally four units of cuirassiers. On the French side, the actual scenario in the General Brigade Army book has 6 infantry brigades, 24 battalions, I think 25 battalions perhaps, and we're thinking of extending that, so we include Papillote on the right and La Hisson on the left, so we might take that up to 8 brigades worth of French infantry. And also we'll have the light cavalry division as well of Darnell's corps playing its part. But we'll take a look at my heavy cavalry. It's been a while since I've had these out on the table. And I'll just step through the units I've got and say a little bit about them, which ones we have here, and just do a little bit of reflection. So start off with our core units. So we start with some periplastics. These are many people's favourite unit of heavy cavalry, the French Carabiniers. As I say, these are plastic kits from Perry, and they, I think, have painted up remarkably well. It looks really quite impressive as a unit here. I do find the Perry plastics both great figures to paint, but the poses are inevitably somewhat similar, as the range of figures in the kits are less than the range of the figures you get in some of the metal ranges. But the trumpeter, commanders, are all painted up well. Also with the lovely brass armour and the red plumes on their helmet make this as a unit really stand out. This unit is, what's that? 9, 18, 20 figures strong. I've got a few more in the box, another 4, so I can get up to 24, but I do have a separate command stand, so I can do the 1st and 2nd Carabiniers if I choose to as 12 figure units. But as I say, I usually play much bigger units than that. So here it is as a 20 figure unit, and this is the 1st Carabiniers. Moving along, this is another one of my favourites. This is the, sorry for the finger coming in shot, 11th Cuirassiers, and again, if you look at the research on these, there's a number of different opinions as to whether they were equipped with cuirass or not. Different sources give you, with different levels of authority, that they weren't cuirass armed. So I've got a couple of cuirasses on the unit as individual squad members have managed to scrounge some from colleagues in other regiments or from the army store, but the vast majority of the troopers here, as you can see, have no cuirass, simply have their blanket rolls over their shoulders to give them some degree of protection. And again, really nice unit. Perrys specifically do this regiment as it stands out as a separate regiment. I also think the purple trim makes this unit look particularly attractive. So that's the 11th Cuirassiers. Then we have the 10th and the 8th. Without picking the bases up, I'll do a bit of a peer at the flags. See if I can remember which one is which. Hang on a second, I'll just take a look at the flag. Yeah, this one is indeed the 10th Cuirassiers with the purple trim. Again, these are all periplastics, sorry, perimetals, as indeed were the 11th without the cuirasses. Painted up really nicely, I think. I continue to slightly worry about snapping the swords. I've got them in dynamic poses here rather than at shoulder arms, and shoulder arms tend to have slightly safer swords from being knocked and bashed. Anyway, they've all survived so far, so there we go, there's our 11th Cuirassiers. Finally we have the 8th. This one's a larger regiment. The other two regiments of Cuirassiers were both 18 strong, this is 24 strong. Again, reflecting the size of the regiment when it fought. So the 10th and 8th both fought at Quatre Bras, so that's what's the origination of these two units for my Quatre Bras collection. And you may see some dragoons skulking around in the background. I'll show you those in a second. They're plastics as well. But this is the units I will be taking to the Dernal game, the Waterloo, start of the Waterloo reenactment we're going to do, or refight we're going to do. Again, perimetals, painted up nicely, nice yellow trim. In support of these, we've got some casualty figures now. So these are just cuirassiers at rest on casualty markers. I use the war bases markers to mark up my casualties. They come up nicely. I went for the figures at ease just because they looked less militaristic poses and looked like a broken unit or troops that could just be recovering or taking a breather. Thought they'd be nice casualty markers. There are some very dynamic Perry ones of troops being shot and flying off their horses. But didn't quite feel right for casualty markers for me because most of the other figures are static, injured or unfortunates who have died on the markers. So they're not really action poses. So I went for the static ones, and I think they've turned out pretty nicely. Then we look at my commanders. I think this one is Kellerman. Again, let me just check. Yeah, this is Kellerman with an ADC right there that we use as commanders of these units on occasion. And here we have Milhaud, the other commander. Both really nice command bases, just giving you another view of the Kellerman one from a slightly different angle. And back rear. Okay, and then just finishing off, just for completeness, we have the two regiments of dragoons you've seen many times, I'm sure, before. These are periplastics, the ones on the right slightly more scarlet, and the ones on the left in more crimson. Plastic figures, again painted up nicely as dragoons, and that's my regular line French Cavalry. So those front four regiments will be being dispatched to our refight at the end of the month. Okay guys, hope this video works when we try and edit it all together. It's a bit of an experiment. We'll see how it plays. Have a great weekend and hopefully catch you all soon.